All right. So if we look at this data set, we can't tell what we're working with. Yes, you can make an assumption based on past experience, or you can form a hypothesis, but let's just make sure that we have the right data set because you're still young in utilizing this technology. So even though I can do it fairly easily, I want you to do it well, and I want you to do it correctly. So let's just go ahead and double tap on the on our column here, A, and then we'll do the same thing for B, C, D, and E. Now we want to rid ourselves of superfluous data sets. So time is going to be superfluous to this theory. If we just go back to our theorem here, you'll notice that all we need in order to calculate our radius is the following: x squared plus y squared, the square root of x squared plus y squared. Since that is the case, we do not need time, so it can be considered a distraction. So let's just go ahead and hide it. Do not delete it. We do need x, we do need y, but we don't need x velocity or y velocity, okay? So hide it. Now, why are we hiding this again? Do you remember? Go ahead and recall that for me right now. Very good. Whether you're wrong or right, you will have knowledge of whether you know or you don't know after I tell you why. The reason is because we might use this data at some later time. And if you delete those data sets, then you're going to have to go back to video analysis and re-import it. Okay, that's not difficult, but still, if it were difficult, which just means it takes a very long time to complete a task, difficulty that is, then that would be something that you would have to do over. So let's go ahead and find our radius. And let's place our units in here, of course, all the time in physics. Not math class, not math class, all the time in physics. You place your units in here. So what is the radius? The radius is going to be equal to the square root. So SQRT. I always misspell that. There's the function. I'm going to select on X, which is B2. It's in cell B2. And I'm going to square it. And we're going to go ahead and add this to C2 squared. Okay. And I'm just going to drop that, and you'll see that we have approximately 0.1939. So let's go ahead and reduce those decimal places to just 4. So this is my radius. And we want to drag that all the way down because that's just the radius of that point, measured at that point. So let me just go ahead and notice that we have a variety of radiuses. All of them are approximately 19. Some are 19, some of them are not. So here we go. The very last thing that we want to do is, because we don't want all of these radiuses, we just want the average radius. So remember what the average does. The average removes measurements that are under a little bit and that are over a little bit. So how do we do that average radius? Do you remember? Can you guys remember? Have we done this before? Maybe not. I'm just going to go ahead and say equals to, and I'll start typing in average. AVE, R. So here's our average. And all we have to do is just to select on column F. Just tap on F. And when we tap on F, there it is, that F:F. Okay. And there's the average radius. And so I did bring it down to 4 decimal places again. And that will complete this assignment. Okay? So go back, hit your back button. When you hit your back button, it's going to go up and it's going to save for us again. It's going to save it back to Dropbox. Once you save it to Dropbox, Just make sure you share the link from the Dropbox folder concerning this experiment with all of its assets in it to STEM.